In most Western democratic countries, community television is financed by their respected governments. Unfortunately, this is not the case in Australia. We hit up the streets of Perth to find out if you think this should be changed. Do you think there's enough local content on Australian TV?
Not much, no.
No.
No?
No, probably not.
No?
Probably not, actually.
No, not really. No, there could be more.
Local content? Not really. Like West TV is good.
No, I'm not really impressed with the local content to do with Perth, no.
I don't really see a lot of local content. I'm not really sure, as I'm not from Australia, but I do watch the television and I don't see a lot of local stuff now.
I think there is far too much overseas input in Australian television, and I'd be looking at the Australian government to introduce some minimum mandatory levels for local content, especially at a state level.
Yeah, I think a lot of the American shows are more successful, so I suppose it's probably a safer option to put on TV than giving some Aussie people a go.
I just want to know if you think that there's like too much overseas and American shows on our free-to-air channels in Australia.
Definitely. We should be promoting our own state and our own country.
Do you think there's any local content missing, or would you watch any local content?
I sure would if the quality was good enough, yes.
I'd be good to see a few more Aussie shows on telly, I suppose.
We want to have enough Australian local content with local issues.
Yeah, should be. Like some Australian television stuff. I don't know, like something to do with the Aboriginals in the community too. There's not much about that.
Is there anything that you think's missing from TV that you would like to watch? Any Australian content?
Oh, I think documentaries for a start. There's a lot of Australian documentaries you could be watching. That would be ideal. I mean, my husband loves documentaries.
Personally, I like to see more variety of shows, I suppose.
What's on ordinary TV at the moment is not very good. Well, it's just boring, you know. Nothing on there.
Like if you switch on the television at a particular time, almost every channel has the same types of shows. Like if you switch on channel at about 8 o'clock, they're all reality shows, you know, and that's not what everybody wants. You know, I like to see more diversity, more languages.
Do you think it's fair for like local community stations to compete with all these like overseas programs, all these big channels?
Probably not fair, but it's probably difficult for them to compete. I think the problem is that there's not as many, you know, like big name TV shows on community TV where it's kind of hard to compete.
I don't think it's fair. I think government should fund in every little aspect of life and like give a little push to these people who can't maybe afford to pay everything for themselves.
It's not fair because you're dealing with budgets that are quite low compared to budgets that are in the tens of millions.
Do you think that the government should maybe fund and help out with community stations?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I reckon go for it.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a good place for our money to go. Yeah.
Do you think there should be more government funding for community stations?
I think so, yeah, there should be.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm interested in like media and journalism myself, so I definitely think it'd be a bonus to have more funding for local groups, definitely.
Definitely. I mean, I'm studying journalism, so I guess it's a good experience if you want to get out there. So yeah, I think it's good. I mean, yeah, they should.
Do you think there should maybe be more government funding behind community stations?
Definitely, absolutely. I think they provide an invaluable service and they provide access maybe for points of view and groups that wouldn't normally be able to fund productions.
There should be significantly more government funding for projects such as this, and perhaps even more of them.
Do you think it's the government's responsibility to help out with community television?
Yeah, I think so.
Community television, absolutely, yes.
I think so. I'm an Australian, but I still think it should be a funding from the government for the television.
Yeah, there should be a certain department for funding about community projects. It'd be good for Australia.
Well, I'm not from here, so I don't. I think so. I'm from Estonia, so yeah, government does fund our projects or like has a government funding TV show. So yeah, I do think so. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's one of the areas that could assist in each state is the Department of the Arts, because television and the programs come under the arts. And I mean, they look at film, but do they look at TV stations?
Do you think that maybe it's up to the government to put more funding towards like community-based television shows?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty important.
Oh, for sure. You get something. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, why not?
Most of other Western countries get funding, but Australia gets nothing on their community television. Do you think that's fair?
I don't think that's fair, no. I think they should get some funding, yes.
Yeah, I suppose it could, but there needs to be the quality of the TV show as well. There's a lot of local product on TV at the moment which really is not the standard. When you look at the glitzy LA-style TV shows compared to the local ones, but then again it comes down to money, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do you think that the government should help community TV?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they help a lot of other things that sport. I mean, they help like the new stadium that's going up. I don't approve of that when hospitals are crying out for money. So I think they could. It wouldn't hurt. I think they get a lot of money coming from the public, and it's a public community thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, what happened to we had one in Perth, community one for a while.
We've got WTV now, it's the new one.
Oh, really? Oh, I see. Okay, definitely. I'll put you on the dial.
It appears that most people want a change in the government funding of community television to ensure a fairer opportunity for local content. Maybe it's about time the government listened.